Have you ever looked around and really thought about why the buildings we use every day look the way they do? I mean, why is a sleek office tower just a stack of glass and steel, while a warehouse is basically a giant concrete box? Well, it's not random, and it's definitely not just about looks. There's this hidden logic, this blueprint, that shapes everything. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on it.
So let's start with the central question, right? Why are the places we work, shop, and make things in so incredibly different from each other? The answer, it turns out, is this really fascinating design language. And once you learn to speak it, you'll never look at a city street the same way again.
It really all boils down to three things. Every single commercial building is a mix of its purpose, what is this thing actually for, the materials we have to build it with, and then this whole invisible web of rules it has to follow. You get a handle on those three, and boom, you've cracked the code of construction.
All right, let's dive into our first category with something we all recognize, the office. Whether it's a skyscraper that touches the clouds or just a small suburban building, the purpose is pretty clear. Give people a place to work. But, and this is a big but, not all offices are created equal, not by a long shot.
You know, it's funny. Offices are actually rated a lot like hotels. Right at the tippy top, you've got your Class A+ buildings. Think of these as the landmarks, the absolute icons in the best parts of town that the big international investors want a piece of. Class A is just a small step down, still super prestigious, high-tech, perfect for major banks or big law firms. Then you get to Class B and C. These are usually older buildings, maybe in less trendy spots, which makes them more affordable, but they might need a little extra love and care.
Okay, here's a key bit of jargon for you. The building core. This is the functional heart of the building. It's where you find the elevators, stairs, bathrooms, all that essential stuff. Now, where you put it changes everything. A center core design sticks all of that right in the middle, which is awesome for splitting a floor between multiple companies because everyone gets some window space. But a side core design pushes it all to one side. Why? To create one massive open floor plan, which is perfect for a single huge tenant. See? Purpose totally dictates the form.
Okay, let's switch gears and walk into the world of retail. Now, unlike offices, these buildings are way more than just spaces for people. They are meticulously designed machines, and they have one single goal: to get you to open your wallet.
And when it comes to retail, size really does matter. On one end of the spectrum, you have the super regional shopping center. You know the type. It's a massive enclosed mall with a bunch of big anchor stores. It's designed to be a destination, a place you spend the whole day. Then, on the complete other end, you have the little neighborhood shopping center. Its purpose is all about convenience, usually with just one anchor store, like a supermarket, that serves the immediate community.
And the variety within retail is just wild. You've got the simple, straightforward design of a freestanding bank or gas station. You've got the big box store, which honestly is just a dressed-up warehouse for shoppers. Then there are the more curated experiences, like an open-air lifestyle center aimed at upscale customers. And of course, the outlet mall, which is usually built way outside of town to keep costs down. Every single one has a form that perfectly follows its retail function.
Now, let's talk about the unsung hero of our entire economy, the industrial building. These things are the absolute workhorses of commerce. Here, looks are a distant second to pure, raw function. It's all about one thing: making, storing, and moving goods as efficiently as humanly possible.
And that obsession with efficiency, you can see it right in how these places are built. Take concrete, for example. With precast concrete, the walls are actually made in a factory somewhere else and then shipped to the site. This is great because you don't have to worry about weather delays. The other method is concrete tilt-up, where they pour the walls right there on the job site and then lift them into place. It can be cheaper, but you're at the mercy of the weather. The choice really comes down to that classic triangle: your budget, your timeline, and your location.
Here is maybe the most important term in the industrial world: clear span. All it means is the open, totally unobstructed space from the floor to the ceiling, with no columns or walls in the way. And why is this so crucial? Flexibility. It's everything. A huge clear span means you can set up a complex assembly line, put in massive storage racks, or drive heavy machinery around without a problem. In a warehouse, clear span is basically gold.
Industrial buildings are also classified by just how flexible they are. General-purpose buildings are like the chameleons of the group. They can be adapted for all sorts of different uses pretty easily. Then you have special-purpose buildings, which are a bit more tailored, maybe with tons of loading docks for a logistics company. And at the far end, you have single-purpose buildings. Think of an oil refinery.
It's so incredibly specialized that trying to convert it to do something else is practically impossible.
So, we've talked purpose, we've talked materials, but there's a third, almost invisible force that shapes everything. Before a single shovel can hit the dirt, every single project has to fight its way through this complex maze of rules and regulations. This is the unseen framework that decides what gets built, where it gets built, and how.
And trust me, this rulebook is thick. In a place like Ontario, for example, you have the building code, which makes sure the building is structurally safe and won't catch fire easily. You have zoning plans that map out a whole town, saying you can build retail here, but only houses over there. Site plan control ensures new buildings actually fit in with everything else around them. And then you have conservation authorities, who are basically the guardians of the local environment. Every single rule is a hurdle you have to clear.
And one of the biggest hurdles is making sure the land is safe. This is where the environmental site assessment comes in. It's like a three-phase detective story. Phase 1 is the initial investigation. You're looking through old records, walking the site, searching for clues of past contamination. If you find something suspicious, you move to Phase 2, testing. You're taking soil and water samples and sending them to a lab for analysis. And if contamination is found and cleaned up, Phase 3 is the final report that gives the all clear, confirming the land is officially safe to build on.
So, from sky-high offices to sprawling warehouses, we've seen how purpose, materials, and rules create the world around us. But here's the thing, that logic is always changing. Think about it. With e-commerce, remote work, and new technologies, our needs are shifting fast. The buildings we have today might not be what we need tomorrow. So what's next? Will our offices start to feel more like homes? Will stores become all about the experience? The blueprint is being redrawn right as we speak.